Today's episode, I feel like I've lost myself. How do I get myself back? Is something that I hear, particularly a lot of women talk about in counseling sessions, or if they're not talking about it, I can usually tell. And then there's a little bit of a conversation around it because when you don't feel like yourself, it's really so challenging and it's heartbreaking, right? It's so heartbreaking. So I'm about to circle back to that in a moment, but I'm going to share, like I did last week, a little bit of a personal thing. And I just hope these kind of resonate with you and also help you in your life. And maybe you can glean something from it to apply directly to yourself. So at the moment, one of the big things and revelations I've had, it shouldn't be a revelation, but it's one that comes back periodically, yeah, is that in our workplace or in our business, we have systems, we have processes in place which make life easy. Now, let me be clear, I need to get a lot of mine zhushed and fixed and all of the things which I'm working on. However, the biggest thing I've been thinking about in the last week or so is that I want to run my home with systems. Now, that sounds a bit crazy, but the more we streamline things and get rid of the clutter and have processes and systems in place, that my laundry cupboard just looks amazing right now. But how you see all those silly videos online, they're actually pretty cool with organizing, and they have those, I don't even know what they're called, but they can put your bed sheets in this one thing and it's all together and it's labeled and all the things. Yeah. I didn't go crazy. I didn't do it for my whole cupboard at all, just for the stuff that gets really out of hand. And that one simple thing means I can put my hand on it, even if it's 1 a.m. in the morning because a kid sweat the bed or something. Not that that's very common. Whatever, they're sick and they vomit all over their sheets. That was only the other night. And I can put my hand on it even when I'm half asleep and know where it is. So tiny systems, tiny little things that can be in place. And we actually have a farm. So we often will have empty egg containers, and these empty egg containers drive me flipping mad, right? I'll find them everywhere. And so now I have a system that I take them and I put them on a certain place. So then my husband can take them over where the chickens are. So they're ready to go. Now, these small things seem like they don't make a big difference, but these small things over time add up huge. And it also takes the friction out of it and the stress out of it. Instead of me being like, oh, they're egg cons are here again. It's no, we have a system in place. I know that I put them here, then he puts them wherever the next step. And I guess I just want to challenge you and help you to think about is what systems could you put in place to help your relationship and your life be better and easier. Now, I know this doesn't sound like a relationship tip, but let me tell you, if you're not fighting about where things are, where things go, and how the house looks and all that stuff, that's awesome because that's one less or two less things to be thinking about and worrying about as a couple. What systems and what processes could you put in place? It doesn't even matter if it's tiny. Even at the moment, as I'm talking to you, right? So I'm in the process of doing this. This is definitely not one and done. And it's something that I'm continuously working on. I like to chuck out stuff. I like it once it's done. I don't love doing it while I'm doing it, if I'm honest. But I do like to clear the clutter. I do like to get rid of it. And right now, I know in my mind of 3 or 4 hotspots in my house. Like the stuff that piles up is like the stuff you don't know what to do with. So it's in a pile. Once that stuff is gone, it gives you mental bandwidth back. And it's interesting because there is a saying, and I'm probably going to butcher it to be honest, but what's happening on the inside is reflected on the outside. And so if your mind's a mess, go and do some cleaning. If you're feeling like and stressed and tension, like clean somewhere. The other day I came back from my walk and I was like, this place is just, ugh. I was going to do some work, some behind the scenes work. And I was like, you know what? No. So I cleaned one whole section of the house and I felt so good afterwards. Now, some of you might think I'm absolutely bananas, but there's actually some psychology and stuff to this. Is there any hotspots in your house that need cleaning, and what processes and systems can you put in place? All right. On to today's episode about I just don't feel like I'm myself. I don't know what to do. I feel blah. I feel like I've lost myself in this relationship. I don't know how to get myself back. I don't know what lights me up. I don't know who I am anymore, really. It's almost an identity crisis. Yeah. And we go through these as women like a fair bit. Once you have a new child, have a baby, that's another one. No one really talks about it, but you have this identity crisis afterwards sometimes. It's like, I'm not that person anymore. And now I'm a mom and now I'm this and now I'm that. It's just different. That's okay. But what do you do when you feel like you've lost yourself in your relationship? You feel like maybe you've given to your kids or you've given to your partner so much. And now, who am I? What do I like? And what do I need? And what do I want? I don't even know anymore. That is a prime example of losing yourself. Let's go into the top 10 tips. These are really good. And I feel like this might be a topic I talk about a whole lot more because I'm quite passionate about it. And it's actually critical to your relationship that you know who you are and you know what lights you up and you know what gets you out of the bed in the morning. Because when you don't know those things, like you can't come back to the relationship with, oh my goodness, I did this, I did that. And even if your partner doesn't care about, I don't know, let's say a ballet class, like I'm choosing something random. I don't do ballet, just to be clear. Definitely don't have the shape for that one. But let's say you want to do a ballet class or you are doing a ballet class and you come back and you're all passionate and you're all excited and you're all talking about, even if they don't care, that passion, that excitement, and that all of that just translates to the relationship and they're happy for you. Yeah. Which is so exciting. So, number one, reflect on your passions. Take time to remember the activities, the hobbies, the interests that made you feel alive before the relationship. Reintroduce these into your life and reconnect with what you love. Now, if you don't know, you can do some journaling on it. It's such a good idea. What lights you up? What did I like before being in this relationship or before having kids? What makes me happy? What brings me some joy? Oh, so important. Number two, set boundaries. Establish clear boundaries in your relationship to ensure that your needs and desires are actually respected. And this will help maintain your sense of individuality. So you want to, yes, spend quality time together. Yes, be married or be in a couple or partnership. Yes, but you're still an individual with individual wants and needs and desires, even though you're a part of that marriage or team. So it's two whole wonderful individuals getting together that creates the marriage. Set the boundaries around the time that you're going to do those hobbies or those things that light you up, even if it's 5 minutes a day. Yes, 5 minutes a day can help dramatically. And you'll find that once you do the 5 minutes, you want to do another 5 minutes, and then you want to do it snowballs, which is great. It's really positive. So the next one, number three, is spend time alone. Now, you want to dedicate yourself time to yourself, yes, and to your partner. But being alone, being in solitude can help you reflect on your thoughts and your feelings and your identity to know who I am now. And it's okay to either not know, it's okay for it to be changing, it's okay for it to be evolving. We all go through these shifts, and especially at pivotal life moments, pivotal times. A lot of people go through these shifts when the kids leave home or they grow up to be a certain age or they go to school. There's so many different times that these happen, right? It can simply just be a new phase and a new era for you. So it's okay. Whatever it looks like, it's okay. Number four is reconnect with family and friends. Sometimes we let friendships drop when we get into a relationship. We let family contacts drop. They can actually remind you of who you were and doesn't mean you won't be that version prior, by the way, but you'll be you now 2.0, right? Like the new and improved version. So have these conversations with family and friends, reconnect with some people you haven't spoken to for a while. We all thrive as a community. We're all connection beings. We actually need that connection, which I know can be really hard to fit in the busy day, but just pick up the phone. It can be a phone call. It doesn't have to be a three-course dinner. Yeah. Number five is to pursue personal goals. Often a lot of our goals are family related, partner related, and not towards what you specifically want. So identify what's actually important to you in terms of personal goals, whether it's related to career, education, self-improvement, doesn't matter. Work towards these goals because it actually helps you have a sense of purpose, helps you feel alive, helps you be like, yes, I want to get out of bed in the morning because it's not just the grind, right? Or it's not just the repeat of the kids' task, or it's not just the repeat of the routine that maybe you and your partner have got into. Okay. It's something different and something to light you up. Number six is practice self-care. Now, I know we talk about all the good things. I'm all for a good bubble bath. Oh, I just love it. It's so good, right? I'm all for reading a book. I mentioned that in my last episode. But I'm also for priming your mind. Tony Robbins talks about it in terms of priming your mind or proactively setting your mind up for success. Because if you don't do this stuff, the negative stuff can sometimes outweigh the positive stuff. And so, yes, practice self care, all the things that you love, exercise, meditation, praying, whatever it might be, or simply just do the stuff that makes you feel good. Often, as women and men, both of us, all genders usually, will put off prioritizing the stuff that makes you feel good. Why? We all think we're going to do this stuff one day. And if you're not doing it now, I can tell you you're never going to do it. So do it now. Do it while you can enjoy these things and don't put it off. Number seven, communicate your needs. This is a huge one. We can often feel guilty, embarrassed, worried, ashamed, and not want to communicate what we actually need to our partner. And then also get a little bitter and resentful that it hasn't happened. We're good like that, right? So it's really important to actually just tell them, let them know you need space to focus on yourself or ask them for support. Like it can look different ways for different people, or ask them for to look after the kids. You go and do X, Y, Z. Actually let people know what's happening and communicate that. Number eight, I did touch on this, but I think it's worth its own little note, is journal your thoughts. So write down the feelings. It gives you space. There's so much perspective. I've talked on this podcast many times about how journaling can help you. gives you perspective on your thoughts and your feelings and your words. And sometimes it's such a great self-discovery tool. And it's such a safe way to do it because you're the only one there, you're the only one reading it. So please do that. Number 9 is seek professional guidance. So often a counselor can give you really valuable insights and strategies to help you navigate these feelings and actually create and regain your sense of self. I've worked with so many people on this, and it's so important. When they get lit up, other areas of their life get lit up. So really get the support and the help you need. And you just check in and check that you're supporting one another's growth. Because sometimes there can be adjustments that might be needed if we're not quite there yet, or we don't understand why it's valuable and important. And some people in some relationships do not understand that. So it's actually really important to talk about it with your partner and make sure you're both on the same page as to why it's important and how it actually contributes so positively towards your relationship. So, look, all this said, rediscovering yourself can take some time and effort, but it's so important. It's so essential for your overall happiness and fulfillment. And by focusing on you growing as a person and setting healthy boundaries, you can actually regain your sense of self while still maintaining a relationship, while still being in a healthy relationship. You don't have to leave to find yourself. That's something that drives me bananas is that so many women now, because of the narratives out there, and some men, but mostly women at the moment, are just like, I've got to leave because that's how I'm going to be liberated. And that's how it's going to work. And I'm going to feel so good once I just leave. You're still stuck with your own stuff. If I can be honest, right? And your own patterns, your own beliefs, your own thoughts, the whole thing. I'm talking about healthy relationships here. Let me be super clear, not talking about all relationships. It's actually not sexy to just leave a relationship. It's hurtful and painful and it sucks, right? So you can have and find yourself while in a relationship and while maintaining a positive relationship. Yeah. And this is for healthy relationships. This is not for anything else, right? This is not, if there's abuse, that's a completely different topic. I'm not covering anything like that in this episode. So I would love to know, please tell me in the comments, one, do you like this format? What do you think of it? Is it good? Is it bad? Should I drop the personal stuff at the start? Number two, what is the main thing you took from this episode? What is like the one thing you can go and do today to find yourself again? Oh my gosh, it's such a gift to find and rediscover yourself. You're going to use zest for life. Honestly, your energy improves, your mental health improves, just everything improves. So it's so worth the time to do this. And you can do it in 5 minutes a day, 20 minutes a week, whatever, like 3 minutes a day. You can do this. It doesn't have to take 10 years. Yeah. So if you need support, please reach out. More than happy to help in any way I can. And please, can you comment and subscribe and leave a review? Because if you leave a review, this helps other people find this podcast. Thank you for listening.